You're watching Nike EYBL Scholastic at the Bob McKillop Invitational on League Ready. The nightcap of what's been an entertaining triple header. Here in Brookville, New York, 24th ranked Oak Hill, 6th ranked Lehigh, playing on their home floor looking for a signature win. Welcome into the booth alongside the great Trey Demps. I'm Sam Brief, and Trey, some of the best guards in the country will be on the floor tonight.
Yeah, you talk about this Lehigh team. They have 4 guards that they could put the ball into their hands with the Mingo twins, Kyan Anthony and Nigel James as well, that can play make, that can shoot the basketball. And then when you look at this Oak Hill team, they have a great front court with Lindsey and Williams. So it's going to be a fun matchup here tonight.
Sort of backcourt versus front court. We'll see how that all comes together today in a battle between 24 and 6. Now, they will look to keep the momentum going here at the Bob McKillop Invitational. Double overtime thriller in our first game, which was a boys matchup between Bella Vista and IMG, and then roaring comeback for Paul VI on the girls' side over Lehigh. Who stands out in this starting lineup?
Well, I think it's Ethan Mbako, who can really fill it up and shoot the basketball from 3. He's the second leading scorer in the EYBL Scholastic League, averages almost 2.5 threes per game, and gets it done on the defensive end as well, and averages over 2 steals per game.
Mbako, number 27 ranked forward in his class. As we look at Lehigh, led by Coach John Buck. You mentioned the Mingo brothers. They're both so sensational.
Yeah, they're really athletic and can get downhill and drive the basketball. You can talk about the Mingo brothers, and obviously Kyan Anthony as well, son of the great Carmelo Anthony, to round up that backcourt.
And like the great Carmelo Anthony, he's bound for Syracuse, as his teammate Caden Mingo off to Happy Valley in Penn State starts with it. Here's Anthony. Back to Mingo, little two-man game. Finds his brother. Down low to Onyeguere, 7'1", bound for Florida State. Cleans up his own miss. Now fighting for it. Got it over his head and then rattles it home.
Great job by the big fella there, sticking with it. Missed the first one. Didn't quit on the play and was able to get the putback.
7'1", 255. Nico Onyeguere out of Abuja, Nigeria. And there's an air ball for Donovan Williams. Rough offensive start for Oak Hill.
And the efficiency of their backcourt between Williams and Johnson is going to be key in this game. You talk about Lehigh, have a ton of depth at that position.
Mingo slithers in, and Madison, the miss on the putback. Third opportunity for Onyeguere, who has 4 early points.
And how about that? This guy averages under 6 points per game, already has 4 here early, playing active on both ends of the floor.
Now up top, DeMarco Johnson, one of the top assist men in the EYBL. Here's Ethan Mbako. Off to Johnson. A 3 for Lindsey, just a bit strong. But will stay here, fresh 30 for the Warriors.
And I like that play because now for Lehigh, you're getting Nico out playing on the perimeter. You got a 4-on-5 screen, something I expect to see Oak Hill to do is go 5 out a lot. Try to get Nico playing on the perimeter defensively.
And there he is on the perimeter. Kick out, intercepted by Madison. Now Mingo swooping in. Reverse to Kyan Anthony, who missed the front half of the season with a back injury. Still getting into his rhythm before he heads up to Syracuse next fall.
The biggest areas we see him take a 3 there is that part of his game is the 3-point shot. Now 5 of 24 from 3 has really struggled from beyond the arc.
Hovering right around 20%. I mean, he can score in a hurry. He averaged almost 30 points a game at the NBPA Top 100 camp in June. That led all participants. The number 9 ranked shooting guard in his class. Right now, it's Mbako. Donovan Williams now makes his move. Williams, cross-court pass. And Lindsay ran out of time. No offensive rhythm for Oak Hill.
And you got to give Lehigh a ton of credit. It's the extra effort, help side defense, guarding the basketball, making Oak Hill uncomfortable on the perimeter. It's going to be a key for this Oak Hill team. They need great guard play to go up against a Long Island team that has multiple guys they can throw at you.
Oak Hill with wins this year against AZ Compass, Legacy, coming in 3-4 in EYBL play. Looking to get back even now. Anthony on Mbako. Kind of stuck.
And Anthony could have definitely attacked that ball screen there.
Now he goes in, a little disjointed. Got bumped, no foul, and rebound for Williams. Oak Hill still searching for its first bucket. Mbako for three. Rebound on Yaguere. Neither team has really been able to get it going. Kick out. Williams for three is boarded right away by Mbako. And then a foul. It's Mingo on Williams to stop it at 4:29. Trey, what's up? Why no offense? What's happening here?
Well, I think there's been a lot of settling.
Yeah.
And not a lot of paint touches thus far from either team. I think, you could run good offense all day long. You can shoot threes all day long. But unless you have guys that can get downhill and create at the end of an offensive set and draw two to the basketball, it's going to be hard to get high percentage looks.
These are two of the worst three-point shooting teams in the EYBL. As that trend continues, offensive board put back off for Williams. And then a jump ball on the rebound. It'll stay here with Oak Hill. Yeah, Lehigh as a team shoots 26% from behind the arc. That's worst in the EYBL. Oak Hill just a few ticks above that at 32. And it's into Beatye, who gets blocked. Here goes Nigel James, Marquette-bound guard. Plunges inside and gets fouled.
See, on that possession, you had multiple paint touches. Started by Nigel James, who got into the painted area. Then he gets the ball back after a few ball reversals and paint touches. That opens up the floor. And he's able to get downhill and draw the foul.
We step aside. First media timeout. Still no points for Oak Hill. And when we come back, some Nigel James free throws here in New York.
Sure, I was the first pick, the rookie to watch, and the back-to-back All-Star. But to get even better, I had to get real with myself. I got real about how I showed up. I got real about how I trained. I got real about what I ate. The results, something about this season, man, it just feels different.
Nike EYBL Scholastic is brought to you by Nike. This is Winning Basketball. And delivered by Chipotle. Real ingredients, real flavor. Chipotle, for real. Back at the Bob McKillop Invitational, it's Oak Hill and Long Island Lutheran. Oak Hill ranked 24th in the nation, Lehigh 6th in the country. And free throws here, Trey, for a player in Nigel James, who comes off the bench, maybe the best bench player in this league.
Yeah, 54th ranked player in the country in the ESPN 100. I mean, It takes a lot of sacrifice and humility on his part to be a top 60 recruit and to come off the bench of your high school team. And you talk about his last 3 games, 14 assists and 1 turnover.
The model of efficiency.
Wow.
He'll play for Shaka Smart and Marquette next year. I think that staff will be delighted. Williams step back, and Oak Hill still with a goose egg. James turns on the motor. The dish, Madison, the flush.
Again, when you have a guard that can get into the painted area at will, it just puts so much pressure on the defense. On that one, they helped, and the big fella finished it.
And now it's Lehigh ball. Meanwhile, the Oak Hill offense has been so disjointed. 0 for 7 from the floor. 2 turnovers. James. Anthony into the corner for Kamisoko. He finds a cutting Mingo. And James resets things for Lehigh. Nigel James with a beautiful feed to Madison. 9-0 Lehigh.
And on that one, Lindsey lost sight of his man, got caught ball watching, and you do that against Nigel James, who's one of the best passers in the Scholastic League, you're going to be in trouble.
Outside to Howard Williams. He got bumped and fouled. The court vision of Nigel James,
Just
something
so
you've
good.
spoken highly of.
So good with the ball. And again, Lindsey's trying to deny the passing lane, but completely loses sight of the basketball. And then his man slips right behind him. And James, as good of a passer he is going to find the open man every time.
Here's Mbako for 3. And still a lid on the Oak Hill basket as a foul goes against Howard Williams on the rebound.
I think if you're Oak Hill, you have to try to get Ethan Mbako going off of stagger screens, get him moving without the basketball in space.
Little pickpocket, quick hands from Williams. Now Mbako down to Williams for the bucket. It took almost 6 minutes for Oak Hill to score. In the corner, 3 for Mingo. What a response.
And Dylan Mingo on the season, 7 of 35 from 3 coming into this one. Had his feet set, knocked it down.
A long distance 3 off for Williams. Rebound, Dylan Mingo. Here goes James. Down to Kamisoko, who sticks with it and then throws it over to Lindsey. Quick in transition. Nice extra pass, but Johnson couldn't finish. And then it's a no for Mbako on cleanup. Goes down to the ground, and I think we're headed towards the Lehigh. It's a travel.
Oak Hill just looks rattled and rushed offensively. Every time they get into the painted area, just kind of flipping it up, and just need to slow down a little bit and ease themselves into this basketball game.
As a team, they're 1 for 11 shooting. And there goes Mingo, cleaned up by his brother. No on the putback. Ball on the ground. Dylan Mingo comes out with it. Now more of a fight for the ball. Might have a jump ball here. And it stays with Lehigh.
Sometimes you're amazed to see at this level still how many missed layups you'll see. I mean, we've already had 5 or 6 combined. Guys who just have had wide open looks around the basket, just haven't been able to convert.
Here goes James. What a move. Into the corner, Mingo, long 2, bounces in. Dylan Mingo, 5-star recruit, one of the best in the junior class. That was a 3-pointer. Foot was right behind the line as Lindsey pops and misses a tray. Well, there's a putback for Williams. Just the second Oak Hill bucket.
And Williams has averaged 3 offensive rebounds per game over his last 2, which is kind of rare at the guard position.
Nice extra pass, and it's Caden Mingo for the triple.
It all started with the off-ball movement out of the post-up. Then you get a cut. The defense has to rotate, and that leads to open threes on the perimeter.
Now Oak Hill searching for anything. Mbako. And it's off the hands of Williams into the backcourt. Another unforced turnover in a disaster of a first quarter.
And you're going to see that. I mean, no matter how talented a group can be, and obviously this Oak Hill team has talent, these kids are still really young in their basketball journeys, and it's a learning experience. If you don't come ready to play, especially on the offensive end at this level, and you have a hard time scoring, it's going to be trouble for you.
A few seconds for James. Nigel James. Out to Anthony for three. Can't hit it at the buzzer. But this was a stifling first quarter. Lehigh by 14. Dylan Mingo, one of the top juniors in the country, able to get open and knock it down.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we take a moment to honor a true legend in the game of basketball and also...
So 18-4 Lehigh over Oak Hill as we take a look now at tonight's Chipotle Player Spotlight, and it's Oak Hill's Howard Williams, 4-star with a couple Land of Lincoln offers. And Trey, what do we think of the Chipotle order?
I'm just so relieved that there's a player in this league that likes vegetables.
Yeah, come on, thank you.
I mean, corn,
Finally.
lettuce, it's an A+, just off the bat right there.
Feels like months since I've seen lettuce on one of these kids' bowls.
I mean, kudos to Howard Williams for getting healthy, good habits from a dietary standpoint.
He leads the EYBL in free throw shooting at 91%, and I think it might be related to the lettuce.
Oh, 100%. Green vegetables help your eyesight? Is that accurate, or am I making that
No,
up?
that's carrots.
Oh,
That's carrots.
well-
They don't have those at Chipotle, but it is delicious.
There we go. See, that I'm a basketball guy.
So there's Howard Williams, the Chicago guy, and Lehigh coach John Buck. He's got to be pleased with the defensive effort so far. Trey, he's got Oak Hill shooting 2 for 13 in the first.
Yeah, I mean, Lehigh has just come out ready to play defensively, and guarding the ball at the high level. If you're able to pressure the basketball, keep the ball in front of you, and then also have help side alert on the backside, it makes it so hard and intimidating as an offensive player.
Lehigh this season has been the worst three-point shooting team in the EYBL. Well, today they're at 50%, 3 of 6, so almost feels like a bonus when you get these downhill athletic guards also shooting the three.
You know, a lot of times you get rewarded when you play the right way on the defensive end, and when you force missed shots, you can get out in transition and go up against an unset defense where guys are trying to find their man in transition, and that's how you get openings on the perimeter.
Ethan Mbaka with it for Oak Hill after a disastrous first quarter for the Warriors. See if quarter two treats him a little better. Mbaka takes a tumble. Inauspicious start as he draws a foul. They get MJ Madison for it, his second.
That's where I look to DeMarco Johnson, coming off a game against Orangeville where he had 15 points, 5 assists. He's a guy that has the talent and ability on the offensive end.
A miss cleaned up by Onyeguere. Here goes Dylan Mingo, rumbling in. Kick to Anthony.
See, they're going underneath on everything on Anthony just because he hasn't proven himself as a three-point shooter.
Here's his chance. It's Anthony. Short on the three, so defense holds for the Warriors. Quick in transition. Pass was tipped by Anthony. Lindsay sticks with it with a miss. Williams on the glass, no. And then a fight for the rebound, won by Dylan Mingo. Ball squeaks out, and Anthony has it. Nico Onyeguere, 7'1", 255.
He wanted to shoot that one.
Dude is a beast. Down low, Anthony is fouled. So Kyan Anthony, the Syracuse-bound guard, will go to the line.
And that was a good change of pace there from Anthony. He came off that pick and roll as if he wasn't going to make a play. Kind of started moving east and west, and then hit a quick turbo downhill to the basket after the big man left from his drop coverage.
He didn't make a season debut till January. That was at the Laporte Invitational. He had a back injury that sidelined him for a few months. It's tough to get back in the swing mid-season as he misses both. And ball squeaks out to Williams. Like lightning, Donovan Williams to the can.
And if you're Lou High, you have to have another guard back. Anthony at the free throw line can't be the one that's focused on transition defense.
Williams' speed next level. Mingo, a long three. Off. Out of bounds to Oak Hill.
Let's see if Oak Hill can run something on the offensive end. Maybe to get Mbako a shot, or at least get him in space where he feels comfortable to come off and attack. It all starts with Nigel James here pressuring the basketball.
Now Mbako whips it down low, and tips out of bounds off who else but James.
That wasn't even his help. I mean, Nigel James, man, was setting the flex screen, and you're supposed to give a little bit of show, but he came all the way over to the other block to get his hand on that one.
He looks like a perfect player
For Shaka Smart, yes. Yep. Be very surprised if he didn't get major minutes next year, maybe off the bench.
Mbako, step back. And it goes out of bounds off of Luhai. What is it about James's game that looks so ideal for a coach like Shaka?
He's one of those guards that's a little bit undersized, but he makes the right read almost every time. And I think most importantly, it's the defensive end, his ability to put pressure on the ball.
Is. Stole that one, got it to Madison. Oh, what a windmill.
Didn't know what he was going to do up there, but man, it's an incredible finish.
MJ Madison rising high on the eve of the NBA dunk contest, showing what he can do. And now here goes Dylan Mingo off the steal. Back to Madison, went up and under, and he'll go to the line.
And Oak Hill right now is struggling to make entry passes to initiate their offense. So it seems like almost every half-court possession offensively, Lou High's getting their hands on the ball, and it's disoriented their offense, so it leads to missed shots or turnovers, and Lou High is able to get out in transition and get easy ones.
MJ Madison, a dynamo in transition. Saw him with the windmill, then he draws a little bit of contact.
Yeah, he's playing great basketball as of late. Last 3 games, 9 points per, 75% from the field, and 20 minutes per game.
Hits them both. Offers pouring in from Georgia, Penn State, West Virginia, and others. Junior out of Georgia with a nice night. You said you wanted more from DeMarco Johnson. Keys the offense with a pass to Williams. Back to Johnson. Lindsay, turnaround shot and just not getting anything towards the basket. Nice behind the back. And it's Mingo fouled to the line. We see one team going downhill, getting into the paint, and the other just settling.
Yeah, I mean, Oak Hill, it's a struggle just to even get into their offense. And again, on that previous possession, I think there's just a lack of hard cuts, moving with a purpose, working to get open, fighting for positions, all those little things as teams pressure you and the level raises.
Kyan Anthony checked back in. Nearly perfect first half for his Crusaders. Little full court pressure here. Anthony sticking on Johnson.
I mean, look at this ball pressure.
Lehigh has made nothing easy. Oak Hill shooting 3 of 19. Just about 15%.
Another entry pass that gets intercepted.
And it's Anthony, coast to coast, with a left-handed beauty. Timeout Oak Hill. Down 20. Lehigh putting on a show tonight. MJ Madison making things a bit fancy.
How about this? On the eve of the dunk contest. Maybe a future participant right there.
We step aside in New York.
Brisket is back at Chipotle. Seasoned, smoked, seared, spiced, sauced, bold, and guacced. It's a whole new kind of brisket done the Chipotle way.
So how would you describe the chicken to someone who had never tasted it?
Literally melt in your mouth tender. We don't have a freezer, you know? It's almost like a farmer's market. When you walk into the restaurant, you should hear the sizzle that you're hearing right now. Just sends all those waves up to your mouth.
You're making me hungry.
Kyan Anthony turning defense into his own offense, Trey.
Nice pace there in transition. Then a burst to the basket. Anthony, just like his father, has such a great feel for the game. Obviously more of a guard than a small forward like his dad, but can do a lot with the basketball. It's a good handle. Long, athletic. Just needs to continue to work on that outside shot.
He'll head to Syracuse in the fall. The number 9 ranked shooting guard in the class, following in his father's footsteps. Upstate New York. Well, meanwhile, Long Island Lutheran putting on a defensive masterclass. Oak Hill has made just 3 baskets. The whistle away from the ball, and looks like a Lehigh foul on Kamisoko. What about Lehigh's defense has squashed Oak Hill so much?
I mean, it starts with the person who's guarding the ball, whether it's been Anthony or James. The ball pressure, and then there's the denial of that first pass.
3 is off for Mbako. Follows his shot up and under. Got fouled. And Ethan Mbako, who has been shut out tonight, will go to the stripe.
And he was able to get that rebound because as Anthony was late to close out on the jump shot, he flew by. And that's one of those things you don't do as a player. Even if you're late, you get a contest, you close out, and get a body on the shooter.
And nothing falling for Oak Hill. This is the best free throw shooting team in the league, 77%. Looking for their first make of the night. There it is from Mbako. Against a zone, MJ Madison flies in for another.
It's really hard to press a team that has so many good decision makers on the offensive end. It's a quick skip pass. You get the ball into the middle, and once you get the ball into the middle of the zone, 9 out of 10 times, you're going to get something good on the offensive end.
Williams for 3. Offensive board, Lindsay. And his floater falls over Madison. First basket for DeAndre Lindsay. Cross-court pass, Mingo into the corner. Kami Soko, strong from 3. And out of bounds, back to Luhai.
And how about the play from Dylan Mingo? It's a high basketball IQ play. You kind of act like you're trotting back on defense, and you quickly turn around and disrupt that outlet pass. You don't get it every time, but you never know.
Quick hands for the number 11 junior in the country. 5-star Dylan Mingo. Anthony fadeaway shot. Looking just like his pops.
That did look just like his pops. Well, isolation off the baseline out of bounds. The design play from Luhai and let him go to work. And you could tell he's played a lot of ones over his time at home at that Lifetime gym over in New York.
James with the foul on Williams.
Luhai foul number 10, Nigel James. That's his second. 4 on the team.
So 2 on James, and he'll take a seat. Well, Kai and Anthony looking a lot like his father Carmelo on that play, but he's a very different player as Kami Soko blocks Johnson. It's Luhai ball.
Yeah, to your point, Anthony's more of a guard, combo guard. You know, he doesn't necessarily have the strength and the girth of his dad, but maybe he has a little bit more wiggle and, you know, ball handling abilities.
A little more wiggle?
A little more, yeah. Just, I think a lot of modern players have more wiggle and more of a bag, so to speak.
That's an easy goaltend call. Donovan Williams blocked the shot through the rim. You definitely can't do that.
Something you see in a pickup game. It's a good job of playing off of 2 feet.
It's an interesting strategy.
And when nothing's going right, sometimes you got to just do what you got to do.
Don't let him see the ball go through the basket. That was the old Kevin Garnett rule. Here's Lindsay. McWilliam. Back to Lindsay. Scoop shot off, but he got a foul on Onyeguere.
And I like what Oak Hill has tried to do offensively. They're trying to go to a high-low between Lindsay and sometimes it's Williams, but because of the ball pressure that Luhai provides, it's hard to get an entry pass. So on that one, just decided to go and try to attack the basket.
Well, and the defense from John Buck's team has been so sensational. Oak Hill trying everything, but just 4 for 23 from the floor.
And 0 of 8 from 3.
So timeout here, 22-point lead for Luhai.
And Sam, Oak Hill is doubled up. Turnovers to field goals made. 8 turnovers, 4 field goals made.
Contrast that with Luhai, 1 turnover, 12 field goals made. Tells the story right there.
With that number, you would think that it might even be like a 30 to 40 point game.
Why is it not? Feels like Luhai should be up more.
I mean, because there's been rare that Oak Hill has even had a smooth offensive possession, and you know, Luhai's missed some open threes. You know, 3 of 9 from 3, 5 of 8 from the free throw line. I mean, if you knock down a couple more of each, this easily could have been a 30-point game.
At the 2-minute mark, James and company still have a little bit of time to make this a 30-point game. Marquette-bound guard shimmying around, finds Onyeguere, and out of bounds off of Lindsay. So we stay here with the Crusaders. Long Island Lutheran, number 6 ranked team in the nation. Caden Mingo, Penn State bound guard, finds James. And an alley-oop to Madison.
Such good court vision from James. Starts his attack downhill, but keeps his head up and sees Madison cutting from the other wing and lobs it up to him.
Oak Hill gasping at straws. 3 ball, good for Williams. It's the first made 3 for Oak Hill.
Williams on that one, got the switch that he wanted, sized up the mismatch and knocked it down.
Anthony goes downhill, and Onyekwere cleans up the glass. The 7'1" big man stifles the momentum. Williams, step back. No good. Tip back is right there for Donovan Williams.
It's his second offensive rebound. As I mentioned before, the last 2 games, 3 offensive rebounds per game. He averages 6 almost on the season.
James finds Mingo for 3. Caden Mingo balloons the lead to 24.
Sam, there's not a lot of guards who can attack with their left hand, take 2 dribbles, and whip it with that offhand right into the pocket of the shooter. Great play from James.
Lindsay rumbles in, gets it to go. 3 straight possessions with an Oak Hill bucket. And James to Madison. Can't get it at the buzzer. But a beauty of a first half for Long Island Lutheran. 22-point lead. And a lot of it from a high-flying MJ Madison. 12 points.
Well, it's easy to play when you have a point guard with court vision, and it's a great cut from Madison on the backside.
And then the 3-point shot starts to fall. Caden Mingo with the latest. Put on the goggles. And Lehigh up 22 at halftime. A lot of heart balloons. And a happy Valentine's Day to all of you. We'll step aside for a few minutes during halftime. 6th ranked Lehigh all over Oak Hill.
to it.
You're watching Nike EYBL Scholastic at the Bob McKillop Invitational on League Ready. First half, all Lehigh just smothering Oak Hill, holding the Warriors to 25% shooting. Good to have you back with us. Sam Brief, Trey Demps, our wonderful crew here in New York. And Trey, this was all Lehigh, efficient and smothering.
Yeah, you look at it, 7 of 27 from the field for Oak Hill, 1 of 9 from 3. You forced them to 8 turnovers. I really thought that got them going offensively early and often, as Long Island shot 15 of 30 from the field, 50%.
And 1 of 9 from downtown, just nothing from behind the arc for Oak Hill. We've really seen not just the highly touted Mingo brothers, but also Nigel James, a pesky guard, really rise tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting it done on both ends of the floor. You talk about his ball pressure, which is going to fit perfectly into what Shaka Smart likes to do at Marquette. But here tonight, he's disrupted Oak Hill's offense pretty much every possession. And then out in transition, he's making the right read on almost every play, whether it's for himself or for his teammates.
Yeah, Lehigh, keyed by James, keyed by Anthony, all of these dudes. They've smothered Oak Hill. If anything, what's the plan for Oak Hill to get back into this?
Well, I think you want to just build habits at this point. I know it's a reachable goal to try to get back into this game, but if more than anything, if I'm the Oak Hill coach, I'm trying to preach the fact that we need to get to our offense quicker. We need to work on our cuts, get open on the offensive end, and then we need to get stops so we can get some easy buckets in transition.
I haven't been able to really get downhill and coughing the ball up. 8 turnovers for Oak Hill compared to just 1 for Lehigh. Much more efficient team in the first half. Well, the final half of our nightcap is underway. We had a double overtime thriller in the first game between IMG and Bella Vista. Then a roaring comeback win on the girls' side. Paul VI over Lehigh. And now the Lehigh boys' side continues to cook.
And that was a great job by Nico, sealing his man off, pushing him up the lane line so that there was a passing angle to pass it over the top.
A 3 for Lindsay off the mark. Rebound Williams. Right back up. No, but he was fouled. They'll get MJ Madison for the contact.
And that's one way to get yourself going offensively, is crashing the offensive glass. Good job of Williams there, not giving up on the play, able to get the rebound and take his time and draw the foul.
Howard Williams at the line, in and out. That won't help. Out of Chicago's Whitney Young High School, perennial powerhouse. One of the top power forwards in the class of 2027. Splits the free throws. So here goes Madison, who has a game-high 12 points. Now Mingo finds the big man. Anthony rumbles in. Mid-range shot. Bounces in. Talk about shooter's touch for Kyan Anthony.
That was a great job of playing off of 2 feet to keep himself under control through the contact, and probably got fouled on that one, was still able to bring it home.
And then Mingo rips it away. Caden Mingo rewarded, but he missed it. However, a foul will bring him to the line.
It's another Oak Hill turnover caused by Lehigh's disruptive defense, smothering on the ball. And then whenever Oak Hill tries to put the ball downhill, there's always help side present.
And here's more of that stifling Lehigh defense. And the end of that last play, sending Caden Mingo to the line. So he's off to Penn State next year, a really polished guard.
Yeah, one thing playing for Penn State and Coach Rhodes is you have to defend at a high level, and you've seen it here tonight. Pretty much everybody in a white jersey has done just that, so I'm sure he's going to fit in just fine as we see another takeaway.
And it's his little brother, Dylan Mingo, with the finish, 10 points. Mingo's second steal. And picking his way through, no dice for Williams. Board for Johnson, too strong, and Onyeguere rips the glass inches above everyone else. Now Mingo off the end of the backboard, and Baco. Lindsay, pocket picked. Those quick hands never stop. It's like if you're a Mingo, you are all over. Here's the latest.
Yeah, just playing the passing lanes, doing a really good job there of cutting off the defender, not allowing him to get back into the play. And good finish in transition.
And now Mbako fouls Anthony. For Ethan Mbako, it's foul number 3. It's been a defensive masterclass tonight. Lehigh this year already with some sensational wins against first place, or number 1 ranked Columbus, number 9 ranked AZ Compass. This one is dominant as any. Mingo goes downhill, and Mingo with the foul.
And saying we call that the wheel play, where you get multiple double pin downs. And so the right side of the basket was wide open because there was a pin down happening on the left side of the basket. It's a great play to kind of try to break at certain times because there's so much weak side movement. Just a good downhill take from Mingo playing off of 2 feet.
It's a 31-point lead as a result. Johnson. Long 3. Williams left it short, chases his own rebound, and then the running floater falls down. A resilient play for Donovan Williams.
One thing that Lehigh is going to talk about after this one is offensive rebounds. Oak Hill with 14.
Madison misses the 3, and then Lehigh gets an offensive board. In the corner, Anthony splashes a 3.
The best time to shoot threes is after an offensive rebound. It's like a practice shot, getting that ball from underneath the basket.
Up 32. Anthony, another one. Not this time. Rebound for Johnson. Into the corner, weaving around. It's an and 1 for Czech Bataille.
Good body control by Bataille. We see it again. Get out in transition, attack the closeout, and not an easy finish, avoiding the 7-footer, little Euro step around and finishing through the contact.
Around Onyeguere, and the N1 converted for Bataille. Now Kamisoko comes in, so does Nigel James. I know you love his game. Here goes James. Spent 2 seasons at Cushing Academy out in Ashburnham, Massachusetts. Transferred to Lehigh. And there's an easy foul. Bataille just bowling over Kamisoko.
What I really like about James is he's willing to defer to his teammates. He understands that Mingo needs the ball, Anthony needs the ball. So he's willing to sacrifice and give himself up and let those other guys play make. And then when it's his time to make a play off a ball screen like this, he's going to make the right one.
Mingo finds Madison, who gets blocked. Howard Williams all over it.
Those are just high-level paint touches, as we saw James get downhill, refusing the ball screen, another one-handed pass, and then how about that quick change of directions from Mingo, and Madison just got the ball knocked out of his hands. Should have been a finish.
Mingo for 3. But first, a foul as Madison falls down hard. And they'll get Howard Williams for it.
Oak Hill foul number 5, Howard Williams is 4th. That's the team's 5th.
Well, Eric Stoneman, third-year head coach for Oak Hill. A lot to go over today. replaced the great Hall of Fame head coach Steve Smith, who won over 1,200 games and 9 national titles for an Oak Hill program that hasn't won one since 2016.
And it's so challenging as a coach to come after a Hall of Fame coach like Coach Smith. And it's going to take time for him to build this program back up to what it once was. But the talent is there. Just have to bring in some other pieces, continue to hit hard the recruiting trail, and hopefully get Oak Hill basketball back at the top.
The highest win percentage in U.S. high school basketball history, 942. But right now, down 31. Lou High has been a defensive machine. DeMarco Johnson. Down low to DeAndre Lindsay, who lost it. Quick hands for Onyekwere.
I would have liked to see Lindsay face up on that one and utilize his speed.
And that'll take us to a timeout. 31-point lead for Lou High. Coming down the wire at the Bob McKillop Invitational.
Sure, I was the first pick, the rookie to watch, and the back-to-back All-Star. But to get even better, I had to get real with myself. I got real about how I showed up. I got real about how I trained. I got real about what I ate. The results, something about this season, man, it just feels different.
Nike EYBL Scholastic is brought to you by Nike. This is Winning Basketball. And delivered by Chipotle. Real ingredients, real flavor. Chipotle for real. Back at the Bob McKillop Invitational, where host Long Island Lutheran has stifled the number 24 team in the land, Oak Hill, shooting just 26% from the floor and 1 of 12 from downtown. Kyan Anthony and company, swarming defense.
How about Lou High with 5 players with 8 or more points, a balanced attack. And they're just getting it done on the defensive end, which has been leading to great opportunities on the offensive end.
Led by MJ Madison with 14. Both the Mingo brothers in double figures. Dylan with 12. Caden with 10. Here's Caden. Off to Nigel James. James into the corner. Extra pass, Mingo. And good switching for Oak Hill. Holding firm defensively.
I thought Anthony had the open 3 in that corner. Seems a little bit hesitant to let that thing go. He has to continue to be confident shooting that 3 ball.
Only 1 of 5 from downtown. And here's a long one for Anthony. Now 1 for 6. And Baco rumbles in with the left hand off. Offensive board, and he gets fouled. Tenacious for Ethan Mbako, who only has 1 point tonight, even though he averages 17 a game.
And similar to his brother, Mackenzie Mbako, who's a sophomore at Indiana right now, kind of plays a little bit stiff. Doesn't really get low on his drives. Something that he's going to have to continue to work on is low, aggressive, strong drives to the basket, especially against guys that are good athletes.
What do you mean by stiff?
It's kind of straight-legged.
Yeah.
And his brother kind of has the same posture. Really good player at Indiana.
Here's Johnson. Right into Onyeguere. Follows his shot, and then Bataille the miss. As Kamisoko handles for Luhai. It's James for three. Off. Back the other way. There goes Mbako. And can't get it over Onyeguere. Kind of see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Ramrod straight.
Yeah, there's not a lot of shiftiness to his game, which is okay. Not every player is gifted in that way, but you still have to be able to hit the seams and be able to attack gaps because teams are going to take away your jump shooting ability.
Mbako tonight 0 for 6 from the floor. 3 for Lindsay's off. Mbako the board. But first they'll get a foul. It's on Dylan Mingo. Number 2.
And talk about Mbako over his last 2 games, 20 points per, 8 of 16 from 3. It's definitely a surprise that he's struggling so much here tonight.
Turnaround shot off, but Howard Williams was fouled. It goes against Madison. You mentioned the numbers for Ethan Mbako. He averages almost 3 threes per game, shooting 40%. 0 for 3 tonight. It's now Howard Williams, 4-star recruit out of Chicago. Stays cold at the line. Just 1 for 4 on the evening.
And he's 5th in the Scholastic League in field goal percentage.
Impressive for a sophomore.
Yeah, very impressive. The guy that I'm surprised that's not in the top 100 in his respective class for the year that he's having.
That might change. Here goes James. Mingo with a bobble. Down low, it's Madison, blocked by Williams. Well, the sophomore holding his ground. It's Oak Hill ball.
It's a great job by Williams staying vertical. Oftentimes when the offensive player goes into your body, you have the natural tendency to lean forward, especially as a bigger player. He did a good job of staying vertical and got the block.
Mbako in and out on a 3. Bataille chases the board and can't get the finish. And then Onyeguere fouled by Williams, who then took a little bit extra.
I don't think you're going to get the ball from number 21 in white.
No. I don't think you want to mess with him.
Period.
No, thank you. 7'1", 255. Bound for Florida State. And there's always room for a player like this in your program.
Played on Bayern Munich's U18 team. 2022-23. One of the better clubs in all of Europe.
Native of Abuja, Nigeria. From his home nation to Germany. Now to Long Island, New York, and the next year to Tallahassee, Florida. Efficient night for Onyeguere. 10 points, 4 of 6 shooting, and 9 rebounds. Steal for Mingo, but his progress stopped as the late foul call comes in.
Luhai does a really good job of already being in the help side early, being in the gaps before the ball handler makes their move. A lot of times you see defenders, especially at this level, they're hugged up on their man, and then once the ball gets attacked, then they try to get into the plug spots. But Luhai, well-coached team that's already in those plug spots.
Sometimes great defense takes patience like that.
Yeah.
It seems like Luhai has that.
And it takes trust, too, because you have to know that the backside help behind you has your back if you help.
Lehigh defense putting on a masterclass against the third leading scoring team in the EYBL in Oak Hill. So up by 30. Here goes Anthony. Swarms at half court. Mingo open for three. Got it. Dylan Mingo with 15 points.
How about this? Now 3 threes over his last 2 games. A guy that's shooting 20% from 3 on the Scholastic season.
Yeah, when you get him shooting, it feels like a bonus.
Yeah.
A long 3 in and out for Williams. And now here goes Mingo. Slows it up. Back down to Onyeguere for the flush.
Yeah, when you have guys that are comfortable with the ball in their hands, making plays, making cross-court passes, especially in transition, it's almost impossible to stop.
And then swiped away by Anthony. James blocked and fouled. Chuck Bataille with the foul. And now we hope James is all right. Smashed his hand.
Yeah. You see the wrap already on his left wrist.
Oak Hill foul, that's number 4, Chief Bataille, his third.
Might have jammed it on the rim.
It's a good hard foul, though. Not quitting on the play.
See how James' hand looks here. In and out.
It's a tight rim, Sam.
Certainly been tight for Oak Hill. Down 35 in the third. James has made such an impact on this game, has just 1 point. Make it 2. But he has 7 assists, just 1 turnover, and really sticky defense. Williams spinning in, just gets it to go over Onyeguere. And the foul, but he is writhing in pain. That's Howard Williams, took a hard fall. And let's see what happened.
Comes off this ball screen. Great spin.
Oof.
Yeah, and probably just contact to his hip on the ground with a lot of force.
It's already been such a disaster of a game for Oak Hill. You hate to see one of your best players go down. Anyone go down. But great to see Howard Williams standing up.
Score that basket to Howard Williams. Lehigh foul number 21 on Reed, his third.
Yeah, I think at this point of the game, 28-62.
Williams will shoot 1.
Might as well sit him down. Don't want to risk anything.
So they'll put a different free throw shooter, Saxon McWilliam, native of Parramatta, Australia. As Williams takes a seat, McWilliam hits the free throw. So Lehigh can hold for the final shot. James splits the D. And the baseline shot off. Onyeguere fighting for it. Oak Hill emerges with it. Fall away for Bataille is off. And it's a 33-point Lehigh lead coming out of the third. Well, just more of the same, Trey, in that third quarter as Lehigh won the third frame 23-12.
Yeah, the defensive energy and effort and attention to detail has been consistent for 3 quarters for Lehigh, and it takes leadership, it takes buy-in to play that kind of defense, and to give this Lehigh team a lot of credit doing that in front of their home crowd.
This might be the most lopsided turnover differential I've seen in the EYBL. 13 Oak Hill turnovers and just 1 for Lehigh. 1 turnover all game.
That's a sign, though, Sam, that you have an Oak Hill team that's playing on their heels. And then you have a Lehigh team that's playing on their toes. They're the aggressors. They're the ones that are bringing the fight to Oak Hill, and something you probably wouldn't think that you would say maybe 5 or 10 years ago. And it's just great performance and a lot of soul searching for this Oak Hill team.
We have the legendary Bob McKillop in the house. Recently retired as the legendary head coach of Davidson College, coaching so many great players, Steph Curry and the like. But hey, before he was a Davidson coach, he was a Lehigh coach, and honored in this event.
One of the great offensive coaches in terms of the designs of his offensive sets and the creativity that he brought on that end of the floor. You know, you say it's a copycat game. A lot of teams copied the sets that he ran.
We'll never forget what his Davidson team did. 2008 NCAA tournament. Big upsets of Wisconsin and Georgetown, and dancing with Steph Curry and company all the way to the Elite Eight. So Bob McKillop in the house for his Invitational. And we got 2 more quality games tomorrow, starting at 6 o'clock Eastern. Oak Hill, IMG, and Lehigh, Bella Vista. Lindsay hits a rim rattler.
That's number 2.
It's a good short roll from Lindsay. After he sets the ball screen, he makes himself available because of the pressure of Lehigh, knocks down the mid-range.
Now Anthony knocks down a 3. Third triple for Kyan Anthony. Now Mbako with his spin. Outside Johnson with the teardrop, and it tips out. We will stay here.
That's a tough shot to drive left, and now you're shooting a floater over the top of a 7-footer with your right hand. It's a low percentage shot.
Lindsay gets it to Mbako. Ethan Mbako, step back fadeaway, was blocked, but they'll get a foul against Lehigh.
And it's so hard, not been in this position in Mbako, is you catch the ball, you think you have an ISO, and then you just see 4 other jerseys in white chest ready for you to attack, and just really nowhere for him to go. Got bailed out on that one. I think he made the right decision, but it's one of those things where the best remedy for heavy help side is great shooting.
And great shooting is not what Oak Hill has had tonight.
No.
1 for 15 from behind the arc. Only guy to hit a 3 was Donovan Williams in the first half.
And that was a pull-up ISO 3, too. That wasn't even a catch-and-shoot 3.
That's not the one that you would think would fall.
Right.
But it does. Mingo to Kamisoko, little wild. Gets it to Anthony. Kyan Anthony.
No bucket.
I think that shot would have gone in, but you're not going to get it because Onyekwere tipped it in, basket interference.
No basket offensive.
So his teammate doesn't help him out here.
Well, in Europe, that is legal.
That's his 3rd. Team's first.
The Wild East.
Yeah, so when he was playing U18 basketball for Bayern, hadn't there been a foul, that would have been 2 points for Nico. So
That's a great point. His instincts.
the instincts, exactly.
Got to wash that away before he gets to Tallahassee. That's a great point. He's been trained.
Yeah.
I'm 7-1. I'm there. I'm going to tip it in. Anthony off the front end. Now Williams picking his way through. Drills it from the elbow.
That was nice.
He is so smooth when he's going like that.
Yeah, it's been few opportunities that he's been able to get downhill and attack like that, but it's a good split, being able to get to the mid-range.
Here goes Anthony right to the bucket. Again, great vision from Nigel James.
Again, it's just so hard to try to switch up your defenses when you have such a high IQ point guard like James.
Williams leaves it short, and Oak Hill is 1 for 15 from downtown. Out of bounds, staying with Lehigh. Tomorrow, Lehigh will face IMG, and Bella Vista will face Oak Hill. Those games start at 6 o'clock Eastern. You can get them right here on League Ready. Down to the 7-1 big man, and Onyeguere misses from point blank. Rebound to Lindsay.
That jump shot looked real pure, though, for a 7-footer.
3 off for Johnson. That's the 15th three-point miss for Oak Hill. And James just stepped out of bounds. He had no other option.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
I got no one to pass to. I got nothing to throw to.
He wanted to keep those turnover numbers down.
And
but he ended up turning it over
official.
anyway. He didn't want a live ball turnover.
Hard to believe that's just the second turnover of the day for Lehigh. Oak Hill's committed 13.
And James has both of them.
A foul on a 3. That'll send Howard Williams to the line for 3 free throws, as Max Tonjoga commits the foul.
And Howard Williams shoots 47% from 3. So, again, I mean, he's only a sophomore. A great season at Whitney Young his freshman year, coming to Oak Hill. This is such a bright future, and you're going to see his offer list go through the roof.
Just a sophomore, already offers from Illinois and Northern Illinois and South Carolina State. But like you said, list about to grow.
List about to plays for Mean Streets, one of the powerhouses in the EYBL circuit. They're going to have a stacked team. Jackson Davis, a Chicago product. Davion Thompson. Be one of the better teams in the circuit.
And Williams tonight, one of 2 Warriors in double figures, 10 points. Hitting 6 free throws. And driving in, Abraham Taiwo was stripped. So mostly reserves in for Lehigh now with just over 5 to go. They can pretty much go into cruise control, up by 31. Peyton Howell, sophomore from Baldwin, New York, called for the 5-second violation. So 3rd turnover for Lehigh on what has been a picture-perfect night. Here's DeMarco Johnson.
DeMarco Johnson has to attack that switch.
Williams leaves it on the front end, and Oak Hill ball. So what do you want to see there from Johnson?
Well, it's a pick and roll. DeMarco Johnson is as shifty as he comes, and he gets the big man on him and then just passes the ball out immediately. You got to be able to attack that downhill.
Here come the Warriors. Williams the miss, and Njai can't clean it. Back the other way, Howell throws it over to Johnson. So now Oak Hill back. Bataille throws it away. Kamisoko with the steal. This one's getting a bit messy. Down low with the left hand off for Taiwo. And Williams by himself with a miss. It's kind of ugly, eh?
Yeah.
I see a lot of tired legs out there. Now Abernathy with a miss as the miss parade continues. How about Howell? Kamisoko for 3. In and out. This game feels ready to close, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Wow. That was
And
a minute to remember. I might never forget it.
Oh, I will. And it's a lesson. You know, these are young kids. You know, 15 to 18 years old. You know, you're playing on the national stage. You can't take any moment for granted, whether you play 30 minutes or 2 minutes.
Got to stay locked in. And Kamisoko slithers in for the deuce.
Because again, you're representing these brands. You think about all the great players that have played at Oak Hill. Honor to put that jersey on, so you want to finish everything strong.
Nice step back for Johnson as the level rises back to what we're used to. You mentioned the great players who have played for Oak Hill. It's interesting, among them is Carmelo Anthony, whose son is against him tonight.
And how about Carmelo Anthony, just a few hours ago, being announced as a finalist to the Hall of Fame?
A three for Max Changandija. Yeah, big congratulations to Melo. Undoubtedly, we'll see him in Springfield.
Yes, absolutely.
And his son, Kyan, tonight with 15 points. He'll be off to Syracuse next year. And we are off to a timeout. Under 3 to go. Lehigh on cruise control at home.
You're really making all of this by hand.
Oh yeah. The avocados are hand mashed, the chips are hand tossed, and everything is made fresh.
You make it fresh every day.
Yes, every day. The Chipotle way is we make it fresh every day.
Sounds delicious.
Brisket is back at Chipotle. Seasoned, smoked, seared, spiced, sauced, bold, and guacced. It's a whole new kind of brisket done the Chipotle way.
Let's take a look at tonight's Nike Player of the Game, and it's Kyan Anthony with a smooth 15 points.
So good in the mid-range. Hit 3 mid-range pull-ups here tonight. And I was able to knock down a few tray balls as well. It's a great performance. Great to see him get his rhythm from beyond the arc. Such a versatile 3-level scorer.
Anthony still in his first full month back from a back injury, and he looks like he's got his conditioning, his moxie, and a little bit of a smile to cap his night. What a beautiful performance for Lehigh. Stifling defense as Johnson loses it, and Crusaders take over. They set the tone early in this one. Oak Hill with just 4 first quarter points. And this one keeps getting more gaudy. Carter Abernathy with a 3. Johnson picks his way through, misses from point blank, and gets his own rebound. Fight for the ball ends with Taiwo. So as we look to the next level, our player of the game tonight, Kyan Anthony, how do you think he projects with Syracuse in the ACC?
That's interesting because Syracuse is under a little bit of a rebuild right now. Coach Autry, who's, you know, took over for the longtime coach, Jim Boeheim, and, you know, it's going to be challenging because the college basketball landscape now, it's the transfer portal, it's older guys. So Kyan Anthony is definitely going to have his work cut out for him, but that pedigree and the Anthony name, you know that he has what it takes to be an effective player at the next level and hopefully beyond.
And Syracuse struggling this year, so they'll love the reinforcement of Kyan Anthony and a name on the back of the jersey, Anthony, that speaks volumes in upstate New York. See if he can rekindle some of that 03 Carmelo magic. Here's McWilliam for Oak Hill. To Sherman Jr.
College basketball is better when Syracuse is good.
Right? Just is.
It just is. That fan base, the incredible arena that they play, the dome.
Love when there's a massive ACC tilt.
Yes.
You got a team like Duke, team like UNC coming into a packed Carrier Dome. The lifeblood of college basketball.
It is. Having a down year this year, the ACC is. But yeah, it's always the best when ACC basketball is at the top.
Tonight, Lehigh on top by quite a bit. 4 points in the first quarter for Oak Hill really set the tone. And they will need some big-time redemption tomorrow as they play Bella Vista, 6 o'clock Eastern, followed by Lehigh and IMG in the nightcap at 8. Peyton Howell in and out on a 3. What'll be the last Lehigh shot of the night as our triple header comes to a close. Double overtime thriller in game 1. A phenomenal comeback in game 2 and a stifling, dominant Lehigh win in game 3. From start to finish, all Crusaders as they take their opener at the McKillop Invitational.
Yeah, it was Lehigh all the way through this one. It started on the defensive end. Oak Hill was barely able to get into their offense in the half court, and then Lehigh forced turnovers, got out in transition, had a balanced scoring attack.
5 in double figures, including Anthony with 15, Dylan Mingo with 15, and Lehigh commits just 3 turnovers while forcing 15 from Oak Hill. Again tomorrow, it's a 6 o'clock tip for Bella Vista and Oak Hill, followed by Lehigh and IMG. But that'll do it for our triple header coverage tonight from the Bob McKillop Invitational. And alongside my partner Trey Demps, our wonderful crew led by Ryan Kowalski, Paul Bronstetter, and Rico Marrero. Sam Brief saying so long from the McKillop Invitational, where it's Lehigh all over Oak Hill. Good night.